everybody, this is Whatcha with the weekly Pele report. As you can see, I'm in outer space right now, and we are looking at, here we come, full alignment, full moon, happening right there. Yes, indeed, that is the full moon, and it is happening on Saturday. Yeah, and if we looked at constellations, we would see that the actually the signs, we would see that Leo is over here and Aquarius is over there, because it is as of today, like maybe an hour ago, that the sun moved into the sign of Aquarius. Yeah, so it's like if we looked at this, let's how do I do this? There you go. Yeah, shrink that baby in a little bit. Now we can see it, you know. Basically, here's our full moon happening, and the sun is moving. So Aquarius is like the stars and whatever is out here. This program doesn't show it, but we see this alignment. That is what a full moon looks like. The Earth is right in between, the sun and the moon. It would be an eclipse if they were all exactly on the same plane, the ecliptic, but they're not. That's coming up soon enough. Well, we have the eclipses coming next month in March. But let's move on and see some other things that this program can show us, because, this is really, let's open this up a little more. Okay. What I've been talking about for a long time and is going on all the way through 2016, and I did a whole 3-hour report on, is Neptune opposite Jupiter, square Saturn. These are slow-moving planets, so you can see that this is going to be going on. Whether the Earth is wherever the Earth is in its orbit, it's still going to. You're still going to be able to see, that this square, it's called a T-square in astrology, is going on, and in a little bit of time when the sun, we're going to have a sun opposite Jupiter. Right, when the Earth comes into here, and the Earth will be in alignment. Yeah, that's when the sun goes into Pisces. Anyway, Chiron is also over here. Okay, this program doesn't show Chiron, but Chiron is in the sign of Pisces along with Neptune. What else can we see here? What I really want to talk about today is Black Moon Lilith is in exact opposition, okay, to this Uranus-Pluto square, okay, that is still going on here. And we could say that Lilith, is over here at this point, okay, and she is, according to the Earth, opposite Uranus and in square to Pluto. Only she has no physical matter. She's not a planet. She is a vertex, a vortex, a point in space that I can describe it, some other time. So the other aspect that we also want to see here coming up is that you can see very clearly here. Let me go a little farther, with this thing here, because we can see. What's really going on is Mercury conjoined with Pluto. And as the Earth comes around, maybe I could even go backwards a little bit, because we can have this whole Mercury retrograde phenomena. Here we can see, okay, well, hang on now. Okay, so here, Mercury, when Mercury goes direct, here, Mercury is direct. Let's go forward in time. Here comes Mercury now. So, December 19th, okay, we came around and Mercury was in conjunct Pluto. In conjunction too. There it is, December 19th, Mercury-Pluto conjunction, right? Then it goes retrograde, because it appears as if Mercury is going retrograde, even though it's not, because, it's in this background. And here we have it now coming around to, where are we? Well, that's February 1st, right? This is basically right now, January 25th, okay, Friday, Mercury is conjunct Pluto, and then it stays basically there because the Earth is, it's passing it, the Earth is passing by, and so Mercury is, it looks like it's going direct now. I mean, it always is. It's an optical phenomenon. But the 29th is the third pass. So what we have is Mercury basically in direct alignment with Pluto this whole week. Whew. And it is in square, look at this square, Pluto, Uranus, Mercury square going on. Okay? And, it's intense. I'm going to talk about this, what the interpretation of that has to do. And last but not least, before I go on, out of this, we just want to see that Venus, okay, is also on Saturday going into the sign of Capricorn. So if the signs were out there, we would see that, Sun leaves Capricorn and goes into Aquarius, and days later, you think you're done with Capricorn, but Venus is going into Capricorn. So, we've got this Capricorn Saturnian, overlay going on, through everything. And of course, we can see that, we still have, if we shoot out past Mars, Mars is still in Scorpio. I talked about Mars and Scorpio a lot last Pele report. So here's out here you'd have Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. I don't know, I should call these guys up and have them put it in there. Okay, let me look at the camera, talk to you about what this means, and see you soon. Okay, well, it's a windy day in San Jose. That's why I did the introduction on the computer, instead of walking around the place. I'm ducking and covering here on the patio, trying to stay out of the wind. I hope you can hear me. We don't want that wind in the microphone. So what is going on? Well, first of all, I want to thank Tracy Ann at Buddha Designs over in Seattle. I come home and I go to the post office, and I got this nice T-shirt from Tracy Ann, somebody I never met before, I don't think, but just wanted to put a nice word in there for you. BuddhaDesigns.com. It's great. Christmas goes on all year around here. But let's look at what, the astrology of these times is. It's not all just a great Merry Christmas. This has been and is, an intense time. Pluto is intensity. Mercury coming back, and let's look at it. Mercury, came around, here's Pluto. Mercury comes around December 19th. Deep, heavy secrets, revelations, intense conversations, self-exploration, and just like, and maybe some bad news coming from the outside world because it's Capricorn, or bad business, or, economy and money and, intensity. And then Mercury, and then it lightens up, and then Mercury goes retrograde and comes back. And so now this week, there's a theme going on, and you may find that, some conversations or some issues or, some, challenges that, came up for you in the middle of December, they're coming back again. And what do they have to do with? I'll tell you what, they have a lot to do here with relationships, partnerships, intimacy. Because why? Black Moon Lilith moving through Libra in this opposition to Uranus squaring Pluto, is really bringing up the shadow elements from our subconscious, our unconscious underworld shadow stuff. And that shadow stuff has to do with shame, because what we're ashamed of about ourselves, we squash and shove and hide and avoid and try not to show anybody else. It's the source of secrets. And Pluto in the underworld is also this realm of secrets. So this is like this whole time of, exposure, and coming clean. Saturn moving through Sagittarius, Venus, moving through Sagittarius into Capricorn. All about integrity, morals, ethics. This is this whole period of time. I just finished this article, on 2016. the year of purification, okay, for the Evolutionary Astrology Journal. It's coming out in April. Tell you more about that later. But this whole year, which I've talked about endlessly, I feel like, to myself anyway, Jupiter conjunct the North Node in the sign of Virgo is about this purification and coming clean and coming clear, and so that we can open up to higher and higher and higher stuff. It's almost like, the dark or the lower vibrations or the secrets and the blocks and the emotions and the fears. The fears are rooted. Okay, our fear is in the body. It's in the ego. The ego is in charge of keeping the body alive. Okay, our soul spirit nature is infinite. It doesn't care so much. It's going on and on and on. It's allow, accept, flow. It's Pisces. Anything goes. It's all right. Whatever. It's like you're on a big trip somewhere. It's like, woo, whatever. I can handle that, and that. I'm never going to die. This kind of a thing. But, the ego comes in and says, you are going to die. This body is going to die. And you need food, shelter, clothing, money. Which means you need to protect yourself, and you need to protect your reputation, and you need to protect your relationships, and you need to start managing your life and your relationships. And so you get into this third dimensional separation, Saturn energy, and it's just like, okay, I better not say that, or I feel guilty about that, or this, that, and then that's what goes in. And so this fear. When you're in fear, you're in your ego. And I'm not saying that there's not a place for fear. There's not a place, to really be in this place of protective. And this is kind of like what we're dealing with these days. When and where is it appropriate to, look and, if I'm afraid or I'm insecure, and it has to do with my physical body, with my life, on this planet, hello, I better pay attention to that fear and take off, or, fight or flight. Do something, it's like I'm afraid for a reason. That reason is, valid, and I should listen to my fear. If there's, 5 guys with guns and clubs, coming down the street at me, it's not like, oh, no fear, and just stand there like a fool. Other times, okay, oh, I'm afraid that, this person isn't going to like me, or, I'm not going to wear this outfit because people will laugh, or I'm not going to express my truth because people may hate me or whatever. There's other times when this fear is not valid, and it's from some programming or some religion or some childhood parental thing or some teacher in 2nd grade that, didn't like the color blue, and so we never wore blue because we wanted the teacher to like us. There's weird stuff. So there's times to pay attention to fear, and there's times to not be in fear, and this is a time here, where we're really, it's an opportunity, to look at and face our fear, and to dig down Pluto into the underlying causes and roots of those fears, and hopefully with this Mars in Scorpio, cut loose and let go of invalid fears, which is guilt and shame, and maybe around my body or my sexuality or my values, or what I do for money, what I'm doing in the world. So it's intense, and life is helping us do this by bringing us maybe some criticism. Yeah, maybe some, other, relationships or partnerships, stirring up, you know, our stuff, like, you know, oh, if I, you know, they're going to leave me if I say that, or that, you know, I can't expose this, or about you know, it's like this tension can really build, you know, with and in and through our relationships, both intimate and business, you know, with other people. And so this time is also this time period where, how can I say, you know, it's like surgery. It's serious. You know, the doctor is in there. We got to have all the right instruments and, you know, just the right amount of anesthesia, you know, and we got to, you know, anesthetic. You know, we got to, you know, like, be careful, and we're focused and we're concentrating. And this is what Mercury Pluto is really good for. You know, this is a time of, like, psychic surgery where we can, like, yeah, it can be obsessive compulsive where I can't stop thinking about this conversation or that email or that you know, that business trip that went down or did not go down. You got to be kind of careful now to not get too obsessive compulsive and just like so. And but you know, so it's good in one way, right? You know, if you, I mean, you want a focused surgeon if you're on the table. And it's bad in another way where if, you know, you are like too serious, too concentrated, too obsessive, you're gonna like blow up. Makes me think of that Monty Python movie, The Meaning of Life, you know, where the guy is in the restaurant and he actually blows up. Anyway, it's really gross. I don't think you want to see it if you haven't. I should not even have said it. But here's the other thing. Full moon in Leo this weekend. Wow. What is that going to bring in? You know, that brings in, and this sun moving into Aquarius is non-attachment. Freedom, liberation, awakening. And the full moon comes around in Leo. It wants to play and party and have some fun and romance and blah, 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 blah. So it's almost like we've got this, you know, intense energy going on. And then this weekend it's like, bam, you know, like... It's the weekend! I would say you want to just like maybe be careful not to overdose. You know, not to just like, you know, totally no holds barred and just like, you know, rip it out there. I mean, because, you know, and at the same time, I want to encourage you to breathe out, like exhale, like relax and take it easy on yourself. Have a good time, you know. Play a little bit, because we are in this real intense period that's going on. Like I said, Black Moon Lilith is, you know, in this T-square from the middle of December to the middle of February. It's a 2-month period of a Black Moon Lilith Uranus Pluto T-square that is really just like relentless. So take every opportunity you can, you know, to like chill out, you know. Otherwise, it will build and build and build, and it'll be like a volcano, and it'll blow. So what you want to be doing now is having conversations, because if you're stuffing, you're going to have a battle instead of a conversation. You'll have a confrontation instead of a conversation. So have lots of little conversations so they don't turn into big confrontations. Sounds like a future mantra. Anyway, whatever. Speaking of mantras, the mantra for today then would be, when I am in my spirit self, there is no loss or gain. My fears disperse as I liberate and am free to fly again. I actually remembered the frickin' thing. How intense. You know, the sun moving into Aquarius. We want to look at, you know, Neptune and Chiron and Pisces. This is an opportunity for us. Yes, it is a time of seeing our shadow, seeing our shit, and getting into the murky, muddy waters of what is polluted and, you know, sewage, and we need to like clear out and let go of and destroy or, you know, lose. But the opposite polarity of that is this Pisces love, light, energy, flying free, opening. And like I said, when we're in that space of spirit self, you know, our fears, it's all right. And we can move into a place of forgiveness, acceptance of ourself and others, go into non-judgment, and just like, this is where we lighten up. So it's also, you know, not just through partying, you know, but it's also through meditation. It's also through a spiritual practice. It's also through healing therapies. Get lots of massages these days, you know, do lots of sound therapy, play a lot of didge or gong, or, I mean, it's like, you know, do healing. It's a really beautiful time for healing, and it's and that healing and those therapies, you know, really, you know, can have lasting, long-term effects, health effects. Think about your body. You want your body to last, you know, well, you know, don't let the emotions clog up the organs, and, you know, don't let the thoughts create negative emotions to block up the organs, and blah, 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 and do all of that, you know, through a spiritual practice. Don't forget your spiritual practice. Oh God, I better stop. Let's wrap it up, baby. Let's remember it again. When I am in my spirit self, there is no loss or gain. My fears disperse as I liberate and am free to fly again. May you contact your 4th dimensional, 5th dimensional, 6th dimensional, 7th dimensional, 8th dimensional, 9th dimensional self, and not limit your identity, your experience, and your, you know, life to just this 3rd dimensional loss, gain, win, lose, black, white, negative, positive. No. Expand and fly free. Namaste, aloha. So much love.